Muslim groups, pro-Muslim protesters were throwing bombs at a Muslim mayor's house. Mighty confusing. James Flippin, news director, Red Apple Audio Networks. The other big news, obviously, is, and again, shortcoming in my education. There's a new head of Iran. The Shah. No, sorry, the Ayatollah's son. The Ayatollah's son, not the Shah. The Ayatollah's son has to be in charge. But then at the same time, we started seeing quotes and video of the president of Iran. I'm like, what do you mean the president? They had a president all this time. There was like president guy, a normal guy who had a profound and quote, normal education and an impressive education and impressive business background. Where did this guy come from? This president. What is he in charge of? And now we have the Ayatollah's son. What is he in charge of? Can you explain this to me, James?
Sure. The president of Iran or Iran, because I always email for the way that I say it, because I tend to say,
well, they're wrong. You're right. Just go ahead. They're wrong. You're right, James. So you're the news director. You get to be in charge.
The president is technically the second in charge, and the guy who was just dispatched last weekend, Ayatollah Khomeini, Ali Khomeini, the guy who had been in power since 1989, he was actually the president before that. So he was president when the original Ayatollah was in charge as Supreme Leader from 79 to 89, and then when he passed away, the most recent Ayatollah Ali Khomeini took over, having previously been president. So president, we think of it as the top dog, but not in Iran. To the extent that the supreme leader is chosen by the mullahs or the clerics or whatever, the panel of experts, I guess they call it, assembly of experts. Mojtaba Khomeini is now the new supreme leader, and we had heard his name put out there a few days ago that he was going to be the next guy. However long he lasts as the supreme leader is probably anybody's guess. Israel has said that they're going to still launch attacks against whoever the new supreme leader is, because in their mind, that's part of the military apparatus. So they're not letting up and saying, oh, okay, well, maybe this guy will be better or something like that. They're figuring it's the next general in charge. And, now it's Mojtaba Khomeini. But no, technically speaking, the president is the second in power. They are not as influential as the supreme leader, which now will be the son of the most recent Ayatollah. This will be Mojtaba Khomeini. So we'll see how long he lasts, because as I said, the attacks are still coming from both the U.S. and Israel.
What's important to our president and to us, which of these clowns gets to offer unconditional surrender? Who gets to surrender to us?
Yeah, well, obviously President Trump had said that he wants to be involved in the picking of a successor. I've read reports that he's not happy with this choice, calls it, unacceptable. He has talked about, as you alluded to there, Walter, the unconditional surrender being the only thing that's going to be accepted. And over the weekend, we had new attacks from the Israeli military where they set fire with their missiles and airstrikes to some oil storage units. And I also was reading where there was a super tanker that was able to get through the Strait of Hormuz, which should kind of put some downward pressure on oil prices, which has been such a crazy thing over the last few days. But it's all still very much up in the air. And I guess the fact that President Trump said he's not a huge fan of this guy, Mojtaba, and wants to see somebody else potentially be that person to offer the unconditional surrender, would make you think that it's not going to go too well for this guy, Mojtaba. But we shall see.
My friends who were in military intelligence have repeatedly told me that it is the Straits of Hormuz that control the price of oil for the world. A remarkable percentage of oil goes through the Straits of Hormuz for the entire world. it's remarkable how much oil goes through there, is controlled through there. That is the key to our military initiative, plus demanding an unconditional surrender from whoever it is who runs Iran. James Flipping, News Director, Red Apple Audio Networks. Thank you very much for being on the Lionel Show tonight with Walter M. Sterling. Thank you, sir. Walter M. Sterling, about 20 minutes past the hour, 20 minutes past the hour. This is the Red Apple Audio Network.
11:60 a.m. on Monday.
Others on at midnight with Lionel.
If you're starting this new year wanting more control of your health instead of leaving it to a broken system, then the pharmacy for you is All Family Pharmacy. You see, they help people get access to essential medications, including some that the big chain pharmacies make it hard to get or refuse to even carry. That's why so many families rely on them. When everyone around you is getting sick and you want to prepare, you need All Family Pharmacy. You're tired of dealing with insurance and want affordable medications, you need All Family Pharmacy. When your doctors refuse to prescribe ivermectin and treat you like you're out of line for asking intelligent questions, you need All Family Pharmacy. See, the process is quite simple. You order online, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your medications treat to your door. They carry antibiotics, Tamiflu, ivermectin, chloroquine, benzosol, all of your everyday necessary medications and more. So if you haven't already, switch to a pharmacy you can rely on. You can do so by going to allfamilypharmacy.com/stone, and please use Stone 10 as your code to save 10% on your next purchase.
The 77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Angeli and Gentili phone time is 122. For 40 years, the Staten Island law firm of Angeli and Gentili has been helping people just like you. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
375 4th Avenue, 1 Academy Street, 1 Mile Street level.
Another weekend for March. This is great. We are entering closer to Met and Yankee baseball. Bring on the warm weather. Whole weekend of sports news, both local and national, to cover. John Catsimatidis for Monday edition of Sid and Friends in the morning.
Listen anytime. 77WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app. Sometimes entertaining, sometimes serious, always compelling. This is Talk Radio 77 WABC.
11 years old. Digital insurance, date of birth is 1/7/1967. Investing in a black jacket, shades, brown hat, white sneakers. Carry 3 bags, symptoms of dementia, was last seen at 11:50 a.m.
I'm
on
Walter M.
March.
Sterling. It's an honor to be with you because this is the greatest audience in American radio. This is the biggest all-night show in American radio. The reason it's such a privilege to be with you is it's just you and me. I am 14 inches from this microphone. You are 14 inches from that speaker. There we are in the cab of the 18-wheeler. We're walking the baby. We're working in the firehouse, third shift, great shift, police officer. Thank you. I'm not going to say that annoying. Thank you for your service. I've always thought that was so stupid. How dare anybody who does not walk out the front door every day with a gun on their side because they might need it? How dare I say to somebody, thank you for your service? You don't work for me except in a spiritual sense. You work for the community, you work for all of us. I appreciate that, but thank you for my freedom of speech. Thank you for my ability to share ideas and information because that is my right. You and I can't imagine, unless you're a police officer, but you and I can't imagine what it's like. What do you grab when you go out? What do you grab? You grab your cell phone, which is overpriced, and the bill is insane. What the heck is that? And your keys, and then you head out. But a police officer, keys, phone, and a gun. And the reason for the gun is she might need it. Respect, training, judgment, all in about a nanosecond that separates them from the rest of us. We can't imagine what it's like. They can talk about it, express it, it's not even going to touch it. You and I can talk at any time, It's a better show if we do. 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. Walter M. Sterling. Now, tonight you and I are going to, we have to indulge in a few of these things because this is a talk radio show, and by law, I have to talk about Mr. Epstein and my latest theory on what the hell that was all about. Jeez. And the tragedy, the Savannah Guthrie's mom. I don't understand why Savannah came back to work. And she came back to the Today Show. 2 weeks ago, she promised us she wasn't going to come back, which I viewed as a good move even before her mother disappeared. And then an amazing event took place in the past 10 days. There was a uniformed, high-ranking military official in New Mexico apparently knew a little too much about UFOs. A man healthy could be healthier than you are. Look at that pizza next to you. I know you. You don't wake up next to women you can't remember. You wake up next to pizza boxes you don't remember. Here's this high-ranking military official. He disappeared. Oh, what was he focused on? UFOs. In New Mexico, went out for a walk. Mid-60s, healthy, military shape, disappeared. And then I'm going to share with you something I heard about when I was a kid, and I can't believe this still exists, about the ringing rocks of Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania. You know about the ringing rocks? I didn't think so. And then, oh, I'm so sad, Jennifer Runyon passed away. Jennifer Runyon passed away, which took me down a rabbit hole of television theme songs from the 90s that I'm like, you know, I really miss that television theme song. A lot more to deal with. We have so much to talk about tonight, which is a good thing, because how long is this show? 8, 9 hours? That's what I thought. The other side of midnight, 26 past the hour. Epstein, Guthrie. Which one's who first? Let me go through the Guthrie thing, and then we'll do the Epstein thing, and then we'll be done with our moral obligation as American talk show hosts. Our moral obligation. Yes, and thank you. I've been getting nice notes saying, boy, it's really good to hear you actually on an AM station and not on an app. I agree. How's how's the processing? Compressor? Got that thing going on? Yeah, anyway. Savannah Guthrie's mom. We all know she disappeared over a month ago. Savannah promised us she was not going to come back to the Today Show. I'll never work again. I will never work again.
What's up, yo?
I watched the Today Show never. Like, never. I lost interest in it a long time ago. And not for some high moral principle or because I'm watching Meet the Press or any of that. No, it's just, Well, anyway, I'm sorry about Savannah's mom. I'm sorry you lost your mom, but this is what I think happened. And this is my opinion. And I don't need to be deposed. This is my opinion. You ready? Right outside Savannah Guthrie's mom's booth that night, there was not a scuffle. There was a fight. There was a violent event. And that's where the blood is. There was little blood inside, but mostly it was on her porch. And then she disappeared. Cops will tell you, the odds are whoever killed somebody was the last person they were with. Now, again, this is horrible, but her son-in-law looked like Rasputin. You see pictures of her son-in-law? Looked like Rasputin. We haven't heard a peep from Savannah about the son-in-law. We haven't heard a peep from her sister about her husband. Every time I look at him, I go, whoa, 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 you get that feeling? You know, when you've been looking at apartments, when you've been looking at houses, and you're examining it with your family, and you walk in, sometimes you walk into that room, to that front entranceway, and you go, no, not here, and you turn around and go out. You just, that's it, goodbye. We're not staying here. Why do you say that? Because you have an empirical feeling, you have a hunch. You get spooked. Other places you can walk into and not get that feeling at all. And then there are other places that are magic, and you're ready to sign the lease, or you're ready to sign the deed, and those are amazing places because they feel good. I'm looking at this guy, the Savannah Guthrie brother-in-law, mom's son-in-law, and I'm like, I don't get a good feeling about him. I'm not saying he committed murder or any act of violence, But I'm not getting a good feeling about this guy. And that is the only one in the case besides the wacky sheriff, the Green Acres sheriff, who I'm not getting a good feeling about. And nothing else makes sense, does it? Nothing else makes sense. I also believe that if there was a kidnapping, there would be a live person. If it was a kidnapping and a ransom notes come with return addresses. Where's the return address? We haven't heard one peep about where to send the money. And crypto, it's nuts. What kidnapper would want to transact anything in crypto? For something that's impossible to understand, that Warren Buffett goes, I'm not so sure. Like, I'm not so sure. Warren Buffett, I'd rather collect stamps. Maybe I'd do better at stamp investing than crypto. But there are ways to track who the crypto is receiving, who's getting it, who it's being sent to, even though we can't find out who invented it. Where are these mines? Where are the crypto mines? And, they're in China. We're in China. We know nothing about China. You pretend to know about China. Yes, I'm an expert in China. No, you're not. There's no return address. Odd for a kidnapping. There is no body to say, yes, here's your mother, and if you want your mother, you will give us $10 million in crypto. But it gets more interesting than that. I believe what else could have happened. Let's say it was supposed to be a kidnapping. Let's say it wasn't a wacky relative who was really ticked off at that woman. Because that woman, Savannah's mom, had money. Both because Savannah gave her money, I'm sure. Your daughter makes $10 million a year. Can I have a little taste of that, honey? Remember all those times I changed your diaper? I need a little taste of that, please. And just $500,000. I'll put it in the bank. I'll let it collect interest. She had at least that much, but she had an expensive home. The value of the home was significant. And remember, she was in her mid-80s. It's possible that some relative went to dinner with her and they argued over the inheritance. That would be a logical argument to have. In your family, did you ever argue over money? Has that ever happened in anybody's family? No, of course. Possible they went to dinner and they argued over money. She's leaving whoever. And drops her off at her home, and she says, now I'm not changing my mind. The mom says, I'm not changing my mind. And they get into a fight. And in the process of the fight, on purpose or not, she dies. Well, now the person who had the fight has a problem. And the problem is they have a body. And they can't let it clearly be them because they're a relative or a friend or something.
Everything under control?
Right? And now they make up this story. They take her body away, drop blood. They take her body away, and they make up a kidnapping scenario. They make up this kidnapping. I know this sounds like a Lifetime movie, but they make up this lifetime movie scenario. Terrible thing. I'm sorry. I should not smile. Forgive me. But I'm a horrible person. From New Jersey, things happen. That's what I think happened. They had a fight. The woman died, heart attack, something, fell on the ground, little blood came out. That wasn't a lot of blood. They take the body away, and now they have to come up with a scenario that she was kidnapped. Yeah, that's it. She was kidnapped. Yeah, she was kidnapped. Yeah. Because they had to backtrack. And the only way they thought they could do it, rather than telling the truth, admitting that they were wrong, feeling terrible, not doing anything to incite her death, nothing. They make up this wacky story because this was no kidnapping. Kidnappings have a return address. Here's where you send the money. And kidnappings have a cash. I want cash. I want crypto. You and I have no. If we said, okay, give me $10 million in crypto, you wouldn't know if you had received it. You wouldn't know how to retrieve it. And I'm sure that the guy in the bag, whoever wore a crochet ski mask in Arizona, that guy in the ring camera, he had a crocheted, or she had a crocheted mask.
1410 Caton Avenue.
It's all rather nonsense. I believe the woman was dead that night, and they had to make up a story. 800-848-9222. I'm Walter Sterling at 800-848-9222. 35 past the hour, 35 past the hour. It's a beautiful night throughout most of North America and Bermuda. You want to really hurt yourself. I'm not recommending this, but when your children are making you crazy or the person you work for makes you crazy, let me suggest that you check the weather in Bermuda. Every time I check the weather in Bermuda, it always says the same thing. 67 degrees. It's always 67 degrees. Have you ever been to Bermuda? It's in 90 seconds. Travel on. The beaches are really pink. The sand is really, looks nothing like Long Beach Island. Long Beach Island, the sand is never pink unless there was trouble. The sand is really pink in Bermuda. It is always 67 degrees. It is always 67% humidity. And then there are cultural aspects. If you haven't been to Bermuda, you may not realize that it's not in the Caribbean or Caribbean if you're pretentious. It's about 150 miles off the coast of North Carolina. That's where it is, not the Caribbean, which I strongly recommend. It is 150 miles off the coast of North Carolina, and the other aspect to it that's fascinating, they love us. People in Bermuda send their kids to private schools in New York City. Their currency is American money. And until the troubles, you could get in and out of Bermuda with an American driver's license. You did not need a passport. Oh, and did I mention it's a 90-minute flight? It's insanely great, and it's very British. They really like us. Oh, look at that. My software to connect to the phone banks, that disappeared. This is how it's going to go tonight. I feel strongly this is how it's going to go tonight. No, we're going to have to switch. That's my impression. That when in doubt, go to Bermuda. But if you want to park your resentment someplace other than your boss, your kid's teacher, that person you married, that your mother and father said, don't, please don't. Look at the weather for Bermuda. Because it's always perfect and always an opportunity for a resentment. Walter M. Sterling on the other side of midnight for Lionel. Good evening. Plus, we're going to talk about the Ringing Rocks, Jennifer Runyon. I can't believe she passed away. And what do I do about my male cat? What do I do about my male cat? I've had this male cat now for 9 years. It has never stopped peeing. Perhaps you have a suggestion for me. When I sit down and I come up with ideas for this show, powerful, important, ratings grabber ideas, I get honest. I try to get to a place of honesty within myself and my soul. And I get inside my soul and I go, what is it that I really care about? What do I really want to talk about? And what are the things that really bother me? Maybe some of these things affect you. If the check engine light goes on in the car, that will supersede anything in the newspaper. That will supersede anything on the radio, on TV. The check engine light can ruin my day and control my agenda. I have to then spend the rest of the time trying to figure out why is the check engine light on and what am I going to do about it. Then, if the cat peed anywhere, I have a problem. If the cat peed anywhere, I have to figure out why. But what has happened is it has progressed. My male cat does it more and more. Female cats, no problem. Now I know why all his life. My father always said, no male cats. This was his driving opinion. No male cats. And then you and I have to talk about this astonishing horror at our airports around the country. There are 4, 5, and 6 hour waits for security. 4 and 5 and 6 hour waits to get through security. What did I write down here? See, I'm left-handed. Oh, and then let's talk about this. We started by talking to our news director, the Red Apple Audio Network's news director. We started by talking to him about the bombs that were thrown at Gracie Mansion, which confuses me because apparently these were Muslims who threw these bombs, and the mayor is Muslim. But the mayor also started out with a terrifying pledge, which is that he was going to cut down on the police and increase the number of social workers. And then today he amped it up. What did he do today? He made an announcement that he's seriously thinking about eliminating free parking spaces in New York. Now, you've been to New York. You might live in New York. That's entirely possible. If you live in New York, you know that that was a total lie. Saying that there are what did he say? It was like 3 million. There are 3 million free parking places here. That's nonsense. Like there are no 3 million free parking
The
spaces.
Mamdani administration is exploring every avenue to fill a large hole in the city budget, and a new plan could hit drivers hard by making them pay for free parking spaces around the city. And there are millions of those free spaces.
What if that spot on the street was only available if you paid for it? Driver Richie Cruz wonders.
Somebody may be making over $20,000 could afford it. Maybe a good $30,000 to buy a spot like this for a year. But for somebody down the block who only makes the minimum salary, how could they afford a parking spot?
But what if the city's 3 million free parking spaces weren't free? Manhattan Borough President Brad Hoylman-Siegel said that could help residents find spaces and raise money.
What? What? No. No. Let me say this is the worst idea ever. I have a different idea. And my idea is right. I have to send my buddy Matt a note here, which is right. Make all the parking spaces free. Get rid of the meters. Get rid of the alternate side of the street parking. Get rid of all of it. And here's why. If every parking space in New York City was free, retail business would go up dramatically. Retail business would improve stupendously. In other cities, I know it's always a bad example. Any other city is a bad example. In other cities,
The 7-0 precinct,
it's a
giving
huge
a 10-10 for
promotion
shot
that you can
spotter
park right
activation.
in front of our store.
Location is
You're parking right
1180
behind the
Coney
store.
Island Avenue.
Entire districts,
1180
entire
Coney
downtown,
Island Avenue.
free parking.
Beaches and Henry
Because they
Avenue,
know
Eyes and
it's
Ida's
easy for
Cross.
you and me to park there.
10-10 for shot spotter
Retail
activation at that
business will
location.
improve.
Throw the operations unit.
Because what happens?
Stage 1 round was fired at street
pull
level.
up, you have 8 seconds
No
to go
description given at this
CVS.
time. All
You run
units
out,
arrive
you buy
alive.
one thing, you run out. Well, that hurts CVS. You might have needed 10, 20 things. You might have had the money to buy 10 or 15 things, and you would have if you didn't have to run out to avoid a $180 parking ticket, which is about the norm here, isn't it? It's about the norm in New York City. There are other cities, there are other down cities, where they're so desperate to get parking on little narrow streets, the cars pull up onto the curb. They pull up onto the sidewalk and just leave it there until a cop comes along. In fact, in some cities, it is a tradition to park on the sidewalk because that's how desperate the parking situation is. Wouldn't it be great if New York City said, you know what,
All
alternate side
units
of the
arrive
street
alive.
parking insane, the weird meters where you have to
Well,
like,
that precinct and 30 operation shot spotter activation.
put it in you don't live in New York, you can't imagine the car show of parking. You may have heard about it, maybe you visited one of
Car
the
number
themes
2059.
that the alleged mayor. The theme is this: elites have cars. What? Elites have cars. And that's just a horrible, cruel lie. Because most people who have cars in a city like New York are not elites. They have sick relatives. They have handicaps. They need a car to get around. And the opposite of elite, they cannot afford a $20 cab ride to go 3 blocks. They cannot afford an Uber ride for $50 to go 10 blocks. They don't have the money to get transportation. Handicap, serious problem. A certain age, a serious problem to get on a bus. Now, Mr. Mondavi what's his name? If he means it, if he wants to help the city, and I'm going to do this topic for about 8 seconds, and then we'll be done. But if he wants to help the city of New York, which can only help the country, then he will do everything he can to make it possible for a parent in New York to not need a car. Well, how would a parent not need a car? How would a relative not need a car? The way it wouldn't need a car is if it was absolutely safe to get on public transportation. If it was completely safe to get on a subway. Forget getting on the subway. If it was safe to get on the elevator to go from the street to the subway platform. Start there. What, you're kidding me? It's not safe to get on an elevator? These are glass enclosed elevators. Yeah, but I'm talking about the feces in the bottom of the elevator. I'm talking about whatever the hell that is near the glass of the elevator in any station. Any station. But if you really want to test it, make the Fulton Street station clean. Just start, forget safe. Make it clean. Get the feces out of the elevator, off the stairs, get them cleaned all the time. Bonus track, an amazing fact I'm going to tell you. I only was there once. I'm not a fancy person. I'm Walter Sterling. Good evening. On the other side of midnight for Lionel. An honor to be here. But if you've ever been to Paris, this is true. It's hard to believe. I know. It's New York. I know. Follow along. They have bathroom attendants in the subways in Paris. Men and women, they go into a bathroom that's clean enough and has an attendant that takes it safe. We've had bathrooms open for 10, 20 minutes at a time. In this case, subways, they're not open now, but that could be done. You want to get people jobs, Mr. Brown? There's a pretty good job. But that's the opportunity. If you want people to take public transportation and lower the number of cars in the city, I shouldn't have to get on a bus and know which seat I shouldn't sit on because I know there's something that was put on the and that happens too often. And then, if you haven't visited the city in a while and you take the subway, you go down to get the subway, and you go, oh my gosh, this is great. There's an empty car. This is amazing. There's a whole empty car. Don't get on that car. No matter what you do, don't get on that car. That's what needs to be fixed. Then we won't need automobiles, except for extraordinary situations such as transporting a special needs kid that has to go to a special school. And the fastest, easiest, safest way is for mommy or daddy or relative to hop in their car, a private car, and take them. But it is no luxury. It is an incredible waste of money to have cars. By the way, one other fact about a car ownership. You know what it costs to park a car in a monthly spot in a vaguely okay spot? I'm not even talking about a good place, just a place where you don't have to travel 30 or 40 minutes to get to your car. That's about $800. What you're paying for rent now in Pittsburgh, KDKA in Pittsburgh, what you're paying for rent in a 2-bedroom apartment in Pittsburgh, that's what it costs to park a car in New York City on a monthly basis. All right, those are my deep thoughts about safety in New York and about car ownership. I can't believe this mayor has actually said today he will eliminate free parking. And then one of his town assistants said, well, there are about 2.5 million free parking spots in Manhattan. In New York City, not Manhattan. In New York City, about 2.5 million. It is high math. It is SAT math to figure out when you can park in those free parking spots. Alternate side for 90 seconds every other Thursday. You can park there for 90 seconds every other 30. It's free. It's all free. Here's my phone number. Let's talk. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. 50 minutes past the hour with Walter Sterling, Other Side of Midnight, or Lionel, Red Apple Audio Network. Other Side of Midnight.
The Tunnels to Towers Foundation has honored America's heroes ever since. In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, that mission continues. When a first responder or service member doesn't come home, Tunnels to Towers pays off the family's mortgage. For catastrophically injured heroes, it builds mortgage-free smart homes to restore independence. And through its homeless veteran program, more than 17,000 veterans have been helped nationwide. Donate just $11 a month at T2T.org. You can also donate a car or land. Donate now.
What if the future of finance wasn't built around averages, but around you? At Abacus Global Management, we're reshaping financial planning around the most personal data point, your lifespan. But it's more than just insight, it's control. As a technology-driven asset manager, we're empowering investors with an integrated system to take command of your time, your future, your financial destiny. This is the new era of investing. Take control at abacusgm.com. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the policies or positions of WABC Radio, its management, or its sponsors.
Utah.
We listen. 77 WABC. Other side of midnight with Lionel.
Walter and Sterling, other side of midnight for Lionel. Giant phone calls. You ready? 800-848-9222. Liz in Florida. Where in Florida are you, Liz? How jealous am I? Hi.
Oh, it was 82 degrees today. I'm in Aventura.
Yes, of course you are. Are you near the mall, the overpriced mall?
Yes, I am.
And is Saks still there? Is Bonwood still there? The expensive store still there? Neiman Marcus, Neiman's Markup?
Nordstrom is there. Bloomingdale's is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a beehive of activity for women of a certain age and income level.
I think it's all ages, actually.
Thank you for calling. What can we do for you today? How are you going to be the media? Now you are the media.
First of all, you're wonderful. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I wanted to just discuss Nancy Guthrie. I think your opinion about her is spot on. And I always say from the beginning, look at the family, and it has to be about money. I'm even wondering if you should look at the sheriff too, because due to his behavior.
No, listen, that's a good one, Liz. I mean, he could be getting a taste too.
Listen, money is it does cause a lot of evil. But here's my thought. Seniors, they talk to each other. They discuss everything about their families to their friends. They could be playing cards, they could play mahjong. And I always thought that they should reach out to all of Nancy's friends and talk to them. Because can you imagine, she could be saying, that son-in-law of mine, and he has a flip that asked me for money. But I think the answer to this puzzle lies with the friends. They know everything. And I don't know if they did really reach out to them.
Liz, that's a very Florida worldview to reach out to the friends. I suspect you're absolutely right. Have you seen that son-in-law? Did you see him?
I did. My sister and I, we discuss this every night. We're like trying to figure this out. And we think he's guilty. And I think what they need to do, of course the sheriff won't do it, but is talk to them with lie detector tests and see what happens.
Liz, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for calling the other side of midnight. Lionel Show, Walter M. Sterling, Linda in New Jersey. Welcome to the other side of midnight at 800-848-9222. Hi.
Hi, I'd like to say I think Liz is spot on, but I'd like to say that the recipe for New York, for solving New York, is for all the rich to leave New York City so the socialists have to go to work to pay for themselves like everybody else. And I'd like to tell you a little cat story.
Yes. Let me explain why you're going to tell a cat story. I explained a few moments ago that my male cat won't stop peeing. And we've tried everything. So yes, Linda, I'd appreciate that. And Matt, would you whisper that number in my ear again, please? And Linda, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to say that I used to spend the weekends with my girlfriend when I was much younger, sort of like a little vacation. I'd go over to her place and her house, and she had 3 male cats, and they would spray on everything. They sprayed on my blanket, and it would smell so bad that even after you laundered it, it still smelled so bad I had to throw everything out.
Right.
It was spraying everything, and it smelled horrible. And then when I went to sleep, as soon as that light went out, and as soon as I was drifting off, the cat jumped on my back, the male cat, and bit me in the neck and was holding me. I think it was trying to mate with me. I don't know what it was trying to do, but that was enough. I had it with male cats. And I've had 3 female cats, and they were like female goddesses. They were so good.
Yes.
You know, they never did anything wrong. They never jumped up on the table. They never, sprayed, peed, or did any of that. They were just perfect little ladies.
Well, they think of themselves as goddesses as well, as you well know, Linda. And one final question about New Jersey. Where do you get your pizza?
I don't. It's a hit and miss. Nobody makes good pizza here. I haven't found anybody.
All right. Thank you very much for calling the Red Apple Audio Network. Lionel Show with Walter M. Sterling. Brian on Long Island. Welcome to 800-848-9222. Hi. How dare you ask that personal question? Yes, he's neutered. Yes.
Okay, well, I was reckon, unless you have a serious bladder problem, do you go to a veterinarian?
Veterinarian thinks he's a picture of health.
What do you mean he goes to the bathroom all the time? What does he doesn't use the litter box?
He'll use the litter box, but not to pee. He'll pee on the wall, molding, near the door, not near the door, near the air conditioner vent. What?
Did you rescue him? Is he a feral cat that you rescued? You brought in?
I did not, but we got it from someone who did.
Okay, so that's the problem. Are there other cats in the house?
His sister, who he gets along with, and another rescue cat, 2 girls.
So he's a rescue cat who was feral outside.
Yes, and I let him outside. But I never take my eye off him because an outdoor cat is a dead cat.
Well, not necessarily, because I have a baby. They live 15, 20 years out there. But yeah, that's the problem. They will do that at times. He has that in him. And that he might not be a good cat to keep in the house because of that. Yes, I hate to say that.
You know, when it's 20 degrees, that's a little tricky. But I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate the call at 800-848-9222. That's the challenge. He does it every day. It isn't like he does it once a month. My male cat does it every day. He pees where it's not supposed to pee every darn day. You and I are talking about Savannah Guthrie's mom, what your theory is on where she disappeared, where your opinion. We'll get to the Epstein case because, again, this is talk radio, and by law, I have to talk about Guthrie, and I have to talk about Epstein. This is the Red Apple Audio Networks.
WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel.
Walter Sterling on the Red Apple Audio Network. I have a 20-year-old daughter. Now, if that isn't terrifying enough, she just moved to Brooklyn and is going to Brooklyn College, which I view as a very good thing, because it means she'll be protected the rest of her life.
Oh, you went to Brooklyn College? Yeah, don't worry about nothing. We'll take care of you.
That's pretty much how I view her future. She has a future where
She'll be taken care of. Don't worry about nothing.
that's her. That's not me. That's not my other daughters, but that daughter, that middle daughter. But there are things about New York City that I hope she and you and your kids experience. There are magical times. Magical times. Worth experiencing. One of the nights I will never forget, it wasn't on the Broadway stage or at the opera, it was at P.J. Clark's, the original P.J. Clark's. And I'm at P.J. Clark's with a person who was a famous columnist, Jack O'Brien. And we were there with his buddies and the owners of P.J. Clark's, the then owners of P.J. Clark's. And now it was closing time. And I thought, looking at ourselves, we'd all have to get up and leave. But the relationship that certain institutions have with the city of New York is unique. P.J. Clark's has a very interesting relationship with the city of New York, much like Rayo's. They can do whatever they want. Please notice that Rayo's uptown, they have their own street. The city built a new street just for Rayo's. Their own block, their own cul-de-sac. It's a very special relationship. Can't even imagine what that relationship is. But at P.J. Clark's, now it's closing time. And I hope my daughter gets to experience this because it is the quintessential New York moment. It is the event, the non-event. It's a non-event that is unique to our great city. And the non-event was this. P.J. Clark's is closing. I'm there with Jack O'Brien, some of his buddies, a couple guys from the FBI, just hanging around, off-duty police detectives. New York, crunchy New York, it's handled. There's a part of New York where it's handled. It doesn't matter who the mayor is. And I'm not talking about crooks. I'm talking about city workers, city natives, people who have always been here. They know where to get the pizza. They know where to get the better pizza, where to get their shoes shined, who will take care of them when they walk into a restaurant. Those people. You know those people. And now it's closing time at P.J. Clark's. And there may be 20 people there. And I figure they're going to say, well, it's time to go. We got to go. Well, they didn't say that. What they did is like, you're kidding. They blocked up all the windows. They shut down all the windows. You could not see in P.J. Clark's or out at P.J. Clark's from this point on. And everybody relaxed because now it was their bar. Suddenly P.J. Clark's was their bar. What do you want? What do you know? What are you drinking? You gonna have another one of those? What do you want? Do you want a burger? We can make you a burger. No, I don't. I'll keep the kitchen open for you. That situation. That only happens at very special places in New York City. There was nobody who owned P.J. Clark's at that moment in time, when it was closing time by law, that had anything to worry about. They were not concerned at all. You want to park your car in the middle of the street? We got it handled. Don't worry there, Walter. We got it handled. Now, I only experienced that, I think, twice in my life. And it was because of the people I was with. They were, in fact, the players that determined how things were going to go on any given day in New York. Union truck drivers, police officers, off-duty retired detectives, newspaper columnists. And boy, I miss those newspaper columnists. I miss the Cindy Adams working like crazy. The Jack O'Brien, the Dorothy Kilgallons who monitored us and let us know how we were doing. Those are the real powerful people in New York. It doesn't matter what the title is. It doesn't matter where they live. The real powerful people in New York are the ones who drive the patrol cars. Hello, officer. Who drive the fire trucks, who are working in a firehouse right now. But they're also the ones who can go into PJ Clark's at 1:30 in the morning and not leave till 5 in the morning and not think a second thought about Walter Sterling on WABC on the Red Apple Audio Network.
77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Julia and Gentili chime time is 2:05.
The Staten Island law firm of Julia and Gentili, helping people just like you for 40 years. Walk with confidence. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
Coming up at 5 a.m. on the 77 WABC News Hour with Noah Layton.
Is it safe to eat produce grown on Long Island?
Behind our there's PFAS in everything that's out there. We were just shocked on those numbers and trying to figure out where is it coming from.
That story and more Monday at 5.
The 77 WABC News Hour. Weekday mornings at 5. Before Sid and Friends in the morning. 77 WABC. Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand. Enable the 77 WABC Alexa skill today. Tell Alexa,
Play 77 WABC Radio.
this is The Other Side of Midnight
They're running a strange program, y'all.
with Lionel.
The Other Side of Midnight with Lionel, with Walter M. Sterling. A privilege to get to spend some time with you, because you and I'm sorry, I have to say it, we are special because we are introverts. There is no extrovert awake at this time. None. They're asleep. They've had a buzz on for quite a few hours since, at least 6 or 7 o'clock, but this is the great shift. What the day people don't understand about us is that we choose to work at this time. If somebody says to me, well, you could do mornings on WGN, my answer would be no. Oh, you could do mornings on KDKM, my answer would be no. No. Because there are a couple problems with doing mornings anywhere. First of all, I'd have to deal with what? Morning people. Do you want to deal with morning people? No, you don't. I don't want to work with people to celebrate getting into the office early. I'm the first one in the office. Really? You hate the kids that much? You don't like being home that much? Yeah, I'm the first one in and the last one out. Tragedy. I really feel sorry for you. And then after they say that they like coming in early, they say, I like team players. Really? Are you Trevor Lawrence? What do you mean you like team players? I don't. I want people who can think on their own and decide the right course for the organization, the company. That's how you be a team player. You bring in good decisions and you don't kiss up to the boss. You tell the boss when they're wrong. You tell the people you work with, listen, that's a bad idea. You could save a company millions of dollars just by saying, that's a bad idea. You won't believe this, I was in a board meeting at freaking RCA when they came out with the video disc. Yes, I'm almost out of it. When they came out with the video disc, and everybody in that meeting was sitting there looking at each other like, that's never going to work. Do you remember the video disc? You put in a disc, it looked like a long-playing record, except it was silver. You put it in this machine, it was right at the dawn of videotape, home videotape players and recorders. And the first thing I thought of, wait a minute, you're talking, it's $800 and it doesn't have an R? There's no R? It just P's? 8 minutes past the hour. Pamela at 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. You are now the medium, Pamela, and you're live on the Red Apple Audio Network. Hi.
Hi. Going with your theory, who's the dude with the 1970s ski mask and the bad leisure suit at the door? Was that just a farce? The perpetrator just trying to fake out everybody?
How do we know it was a dude?
Well, that's true. Looking at the picture, it could have been, they say it was a dude, but who knows?
Wasn't it weird in Arizona to have a crocheted ski mask? Wasn't that crochet?
Yes, I haven't seen one of those since the 70s.
Yeah.
And the leisure suit was odd. But did you see the shoes? They were like hush puppies.
No, I didn't see the leisure suit. What color was the leisure suit? Was it lime green?
Well, with the infrared, I couldn't really tell, but it was, I don't know, it looked like corduroy pants or something like, you know, the jogging suits in the 70s, they match, the top and the bottom match.
Oh, I sure do. And
it just reminded me of that. It was somebody, whoever did this, pulled something out of their closet from the past. So they had to be at least in their 50s, 40s, 50s, something like that. At least.
well, Pamela, in your opinion, what happened?
I'm thinking what you're thinking in the lines of that, because sometimes like what's that, Rotham razor or whatever, the most obvious is the obvious, and the last person to see them, and then that weird garage door opening and closing.
Yeah.
If they dropped the mama off and saw the garage door open and closed while they were letting her out the front door, why did they not go and investigate that garage door opening and closing? They said they saw it open and close.
But
we never really got the clear story on that. We never got the total story on the drop-off.
Yeah, beer will do that. Pamela, I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you very much for calling the Red Apple Audio Network. About the lime green and about the leisure suit. There was a time when you could smoke on airplanes. I know you're not going to believe that, but there was a time when you could smoke on airplanes, and it was right when I first started flying. I think it was still in effect. And I get on there, and in my awful past, I was in business class, and I was across the aisle from a guy in a lime green leisure suit. And I was smoking, you won't believe this, a cigar. You could smoke cigars on the damn airplane. I'm smoking a cigar in this airplane because I was a very big deal. And I may have had a drink, it's hard to say. The flight attendant comes up to me and says, that man, pointing to the man in the leisure suit, he says that your cigar offends him. And I said, please tell him that his leisure suit offends me. Joan, you're on the Red Apple Audio Network at 800-848-9222. Hello, Joan. Welcome from Manhattan. How you doing?
Oh, hi, I'm okay. I have some ideas about your cat problem. First of all, there used to be a radio show. It's no longer on the radio.
No. Please don't talk to me about a boring pet show. You're much more interesting, Joan. How would I solve my male cat peeve? You tell me how to solve it.
Okay. I was going to give you an expert, an animal behaviorist.
No, stop. Let them call me. You're calling me.
Okay.
I would just call
Okay, this is an idea that we get from his show. But I won't credit the show, but I will tell you the idea. If somebody had a problem with their cat, every time they entered the car, they would urinate all over the front seat. And this gentleman didn't know what to do. The answer was, and it made a lot of sense, wherever the cat shows a tendency to do that, and I guess it works better if he does it in the same or similar place all the time, and they will go back there. The smell of it will bring them back. But if you can get the smell out, put their food there. The next time the cat walks into the car, a bowl of his favorite food is sitting on the front seat. A cat will never urinate where they eat. If you train them to eat there, they will not urinate there. And then they go do it somewhere else. It sounds like a very good idea. What do you think?
Joan, thank you for the call. It is a very good idea because it's the one thing I haven't tried. I have not tried to put food wherever he pees. That's because it would take a lot of bowls of food, but it's definitely worth the try. I'm sharing the fact that I have a male cat that urinates wherever he wants every day. Random parts of the house, but I've never tried, and he's never urinated, pretty much never urinated right by his food. Close, but never really. How would you stop a male cat from urinating? I want to know that. Plus, I want to know how you feel about this wacky plan to get rid of free parking spaces in New York City. That's the latest plan by the mayor to close a $8 billion budget gap. Now, the reason that's insane, besides the fact that it's insane, and every parking spot in New York City should be free. It would improve the retail economy. It would make it much easier for people who live there, people in New York City, to deal with handicap, to deal with relatives who need to be in a car. Many advantages. Just make it all free. Simplify life. Yeah, but that's my solution.
Let's do a quick fact check for it. You say the cat is neutered, correct?
That's right.
Are you certain that the vet is qualified to have done so properly?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Now, the cat urination, is it on carpeting or is it on bare floors like baseboard, stuff like that?
Bare floors.
Bare floors, pretty unfortunate.
It's there, and also basic sports and air conditioner vents.
Air conditioner vents. Oh,
And floor length drapers.
Floor length drapers. Okay. Very simple. It's a serious difference. The litter that you use in the litter box, what brand do you use?
Arm & Hammer, uncensored.
No good. No good. Something entirely different than Arm & Hammer is every 10 cat on site, 3 or 4 of them always have that problem. You change the litter, you go to Arm & Hammer, they go to Tidy Cat, you get 20% Tidy Cat, no more problem. Because some of these litters, they don't agree with cats. If the cat doesn't like it, and that's the end of the world. Try changing the litter, number 1. Number 2, there are supplements you can get. Get online with Chewy. Heard of Chewy?
Yes.
Get online with Chewy. Connect over to their vet office. They have solutions for these things. Sometimes you might want to cross it out.
Letty from the Bronx, good advice. I would do it. I have a Chewy subscription to get food, and I will try it. Thank you very much for your advice. My male cat that won't stop peeing whenever I text you once. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. 3 very vital subjects today. The insane suggestion by the alleged mayor of New York City to get rid of all 3 parking spaces. Now, if you've been to New York City, you know that there is, I haven't seen any of these 3 parking spaces. The math and the physics that it would take to take advantage of 3 parking spaces is insane. And then Savannah Governor, her poor mother, disappeared. In my opinion, she died immediately. That wasn't the plan. And then, whatever was the cause of death, the fight, whatever it was, they didn't expect her to die. And then when she died, they were hoping that a character, this wacky scenario, that she could get to. And they needed $10 million in
Julian Lodge coin.
Yeah, $10 million. Yeah, it's a good idea. If it came without a return address, where am I supposed to send the mail? And the other thing is when you're a chicken, you like to show the person that you want the ransom for. There's been no body, no person, there's no return address. 800-848-9222. And Suffolk County, welcome to the giant
I'm going to get the warning. Yeah, this is still a community. Yes, that is 67 every year. I call. That's amazing. You're being so smart. You're a genius. Okay. No, the other thing is, I think 11 teachers when you were young.
I've heard about that, but no. We're left-handed, we're flat-footed, we have accessory ridiculous. That's who we are. He's just like today. That's higher percentage of people working at this time of day, great shift, are left-handed. But it turns out it's not just that we use the other side of our brain. Thank you very much for the call. It's not just that we use the other side of our brain. It's that our brains are wired completely differently. It isn't that we use the other side of our brain to coordinate. It's that we use our entire brain to process feelings and information. It turns out the studies are profound. People who are left-handed are far more intuitive, yet creative. More disc jockeys are left-handed, but it's more profound than that. Lefties feel things differently than more deeply feel left-handed kids. With respect, treat that kid with respect. I'm Walter Sterling. This is the other side of midnight. Lion on the red FM station.
I don't just recommend upgrades. I depend on it to keep my household happy. Right now, upgrades is offering a great jumpstart trial bag. Just cover the cost of shipping. Go to upgrades.com. Promo code STONE.
77 WABC, Staten Island law firm of Angelia Gentili John Time is 222 for 40 years. The Staten Island law firm of Angelia Gentili that can help you like you. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is John Catsimatidis. Since we bought WABC Radio, we became #1 in the country with millions and millions of listeners. We have been certified by Nielsen to be the #1 talk station in the country. Advertising? If you advertise with WABC, you will be a winner too. Why don't you email me at CATS, C-A-T-S, at WABCRadio.com, and you advertise with winners. You become a winner.
The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the policies or positions of WABC Radio, its management, or its sponsors. It's the other side of midnight.
All right, Walter Sterling, other side of midnight for Lion. Lionel, thank you for letting me share this time with your great audience. This is the best audience. Now, here's the pitch. You ready? If you run a business, if you are in control of a brand, if you have in charge of the marketing budget, stop wasting your time on network TV. Just stop wasting your money. Because before I was an incredibly good talk show host, I was a suit. I had Brooks Brothers suits, Wingtip shoes. I'm not kidding you. What I'm about to tell you is true. Twice, I walked down the streets of New York City, and twice people I never saw before or again stopped me and said, "Excuse me, do you know where Brooks Brothers is? Could you tell us where Brooks Brothers is?" I'm that guy. Well, I also know a little bit about marketing budgets, media budgets. I have no agenda here other than the truth. And the truth is, all you know about network television is that if you make a buy today, its value will go down by the time it hits the air because the audience will go down by the time